Well, karma came up kind of big time this week. Venerable Simke and I have been sharing the Dharma with a group in Spokane regularly, a meditation class. And over time, as we've been sharing meditation with them, of course, more and more of the teachings are coming out with their questions. And so this last week, a question just came up clearly where the only response was to explain about karma, which, the class is in a church. So we've had some respect for the beliefs of the people that we're sharing meditation with about, it's not trying to push the Dharma on them. So it's just made me think more and more about the practical applications of why it is so useful to think about karma. Venerable Children often says to us, you guys don't believe in karma, or you don't act like you believe in karma, which always makes me think again, well, what does that actually mean? So one way I think it is very useful to practice whether or not I believe in karma is to pay a lot of attention to what is happening in my life right now. Now, if things are going kind of okay, I don't think about karma. But if there starts to be a series of difficulties or obstacles that are starting to get my attention, then if I can apply my mind to this, I find it very useful to sit down and think, what could this be a ripening result of? What in this pattern of instances could I possibly have done in a past life that would make this situation arise? And then I can apply my purification practice so that I'm really quite mindful about not trying to create the causes for this again. There was a time when I lived in a trailer out in the country. It was a lovely little place that had been abandoned for about 1.5 years. I mean, not abandoned, it was owned by somebody, but nobody had lived there. So when spring came, it was absolutely filled with mice. Filled with them. And at the time I was quite afraid of mice. I'm not anymore, we became friends. But really using that thing about what could I have done to overrun somebody's home, to be stealing their food, to be keeping them awake at night, to be terrorizing them in a way that these little teeny mice running across my toes are terrorizing me. It was a very, very productive meditation that went on for months. I mean, our relationship continued as we were using our have a heart traps and then chanting mantra to them as I carried them 25 miles up the mountain pass to make sure they didn't come back. And I tried to always get off at the same exit so the mice could find each other again. So there was that whole thing about trying to be, being really conscious of what kind of causes I was creating in relation to these mice this time too. But that exercise of thinking about when have I been a soldier and plundered the land? When have I overtaken other people's homes? When have I raped and pillaged in a way that really destroyed people's property? This is a teeny tiny result, if that has been in my background. And you know what? Of course it has. Of course the general I has engaged in those activities. So I found that reflecting on that helped me really make peace with the infestation of mice, and it was really their house, I mean, they were just going to their ancestral home. I was the one who had moved in. But it changed my relationship with them. It helped me really get over my thing about mice so that I could change whatever I had done to them in the past that made them want to take over my house, that this wouldn't happen again, and it completely enriched my purification practice. So if we're doing 35 Buddhist practices every day, or we're doing our Vajrasattva practice every day, or both, there comes a time when you think you're sort of running out of things to purify. So meditating on that way of what's the result? What result am I experiencing, and what could I have created as a cause, I think is a great way to infuse some energy into that purification practice, because there's always more we can go. And then the other thing that I find useful in thinking about karma and Venerable's question of do you live like you believe in karma, is trying to pay attention to the results of my actions. I am not so good at remembering that if I do this action it has a result, but what I do think about a lot is what do I want in the future. For example, here we are in Sravasti Abbey. I have unbelievable opportunity to practice the Dharma, relationship with a teacher, and conducive conditions, food, clothing, everything. So if I want that again, what do I have to do to get it? And that also really helps inform the conscious choices that I make. So there's, although studying karma and the theories and what makes what ripen and da-da-da-da-da, I think is very interesting intellectually. When it comes right down to what am I experiencing today and what do I want to experience in the future, that understanding is very, very practical. So that's what I wanted to share today.